Hi, it's Patrice. I am making a few things for someone who is very dear to me. And so I'm gonna do two different ferments in this video, and I've done a bit of the prep, quite a bit actually, of the prep work. So one thing that I'm gonna do is this guy here, which is Jicama. I'm gonna do I cut this one in half, a Jicama ferment, as well as a carrot stick ferment. So the carrots are absolutely amazing in that they taste just like, and I guess I'll start that since I mentioned it first. They taste like pickles. It's quite wonderful. So, and my boys absolutely love it. And so, I got a lot of like stuff around me right now. But anyway, so I'm gonna like go slice down this joker. I still haven't sharpened my knives as I said I would, but at some point I will get to that. In the meantime, I'm gonna deal dangerously, living on the edge, because it's dangerous to cut with knives that are not sharp, and I know that. But you know, you don't always follow your own advice, right? Or anybody else's for that matter. Sometimes you gotta learn the hard way. Prayerfully, this won't be one of those. But anyway, these taste, like I said, just like pickles, and they're absolutely wonderful. It's a nice snack to have around, have on hand. It's just a reason to have, you know, to ferment another vegetable and have that probiotic goodness added. I'm not gonna cut that again. Added to your diet. This, you cut them as like, this is fairly thick-ish, but you know, it's a nice size for a carrot stick, you know, for a snack. This piece of garlic skin on there. But it's just a wonderful thing to have on hand. And another thing that's pretty cool when you're doing things like this, like I didn't do it this time, but I have been known to, when I do different things where I'm using like say the skin from these garlic cloves, or from the carrots, not the jicama. The jicama skin is not, that's toxic. You're not supposed to eat the skin of the jicama. So you got to know what you're dealing with, first of all. But anyway, the skin from the carrots, onions, when you chop up onions, garlic, you can save all that, put it in a Ziploc bag that is freezer safe until you're ready to deal with it, and make a vegetable stock with it. So let's see how many carrots I can fit in this joker. I wanted to kind of, my goal is always to kind of have them stand up for me a little bit, but it doesn't always work out. So let's see if I can get a few of these guys to stand back up. They might be like, no, and I'm like, okay. So let's see how many I can fit in here too, because I just fit what I can, and then with the rest we I either get another jar, or we just eat them, because they ain't bad. Because everybody knows, you know, we should all be eating more fruits and veggies, and the reason is because they are what's called prebiotic. You need the prebiotic as well as the probiotics. So, because the probiotics help to make more of the healthy bacteria that we all need so desperately to be able to, I'm gonna break this, to fight off disease. Because I'm breaking these off because they're a few are a little tall, and what I don't want is for any to be out of the brine that we're gonna cover these with, because then you can encourage mold, and nobody wants to deal with that. So I'm gonna break a few in half. Well, not in half, but just breaking a few. Let's see if I can fit a few more in here. So you want everything to be underneath the brine, and I'm just fitting in where I can at this point. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna stick a few pieces of garlic over all around. If I had some dill, fresh dill, I would have put some of that, and I'll just stick that one right on top. I would have put that in here too. Let's see if I can fit another. Yes, I fit him. And since I could fit that one, let's see if I can fit another. This one's kind of flimsy. I might have to go from the other end. There we go. I still have the tags on here. I mean, not the tag, the sticker on here to like how much I paid for this, because I want to be able to tell my friend and not have to like remember. So this is pretty much it. So this is it for the, what is this? The carrots. I'm gonna put this to the side, and then we're gonna go to our jicama. I got this jar for my friend. So what happened with this? It's hard to find these right now, right? This is some old carrot sticks that I had made, and it has the garlic in it. You see how the garlic is colored, like looks like bluish greenish. That's still very good to eat. It just means it's very much fermented, and but it's good for you. I'm gonna try one actually too. But anyway, and the reason I have this out is because not only was my son eating it, but also I'm gonna use some of the brine from this for both of these to help, because otherwise I would use a culture of some sort. Most of the time for my cultures, I'll either use whey if I've been making goat cheese, and I usually have whey on hand, and I'll also use water kefir and use that as the culture for culturing further like vegetables or fruits or whatever I'm doing. So the jicama, I peeled it and cut up most of it. And the jicama, it tastes it reminds me of a potato, but also it's kind of sweet, so kind of apple-ish. So it's different, but it's pretty good. And this jicama is no joke, okay? When you coming down with something, or for me the other day I was to teach a class and I had a massive headache, and it was horrible, and I was just like, oh my God, like I really hate headaches. Like that's where I will take some medicine, like some over-the-counter medicine. If I can't get rid of a headache, I'll go ahead and just take it, because I don't know, something about headaches. I'm like, give me labor, I'll have a baby. I don't want this headache pain though. So I had a headache really bad, and can I fit? Anyway, so I had a really bad headache, and I at some point, you know what? I'm gonna put a little bit of this. I have some orange peel in here too, that I had intended to put in here as well. So I'll sprinkle a little bit of that on in here while I'm doing this. But anyway, I had a bad headache. It was terrible. Went with it all day long and was just suffering all day. And then I realized that I had this in the fridge, and I was like, you know what? Let me try this, because it is touted as an amazing ferment that is different than a lot of other ferments, in that it could be used like to really nip things in the bud with regards to viral types of things, like you coming down with cold, flu, stuff like that, as well as I'm pushing these down as best I can, seeing if I can fit some more. So a cold or flu type of thing. I'm putting it to the side to see if I can. I don't know about that. Anyway, I took some, and within a half an hour, the headache was leaving. I was like, are you kidding me? I dealt with this all day and I didn't have to. I have a hard time when if I come down with something, or I seem to be coming down with something, I tend to forget my entire toolbox and will just suffer. And I'm getting to a point now where I'm like, okay, girl. Like, use the stuff you got. You got all this stuff. You make all this stuff. Like, use it, you know? So now, usually I would have used the skin from the orange, but I have orange peels on hand anyway because I make a cleanser with it, like cleaner for all over the house. But I don't have orange juice this time, so instead of using the orange juice, I was like, you know what, this is still citrus, so I'm gonna use this instead. Put a bit of lemon juice in here, and but yeah, this has been said to be amazing for a lot of different things. I experienced it myself, like I said, for the headache that I was experiencing that day. But and then I went, and I just went and did like this and took a little sip. Not even like I drank a cup or, you know, even a teaspoon, you know, whatever. Or it might have been a teaspoon, maybe. But it was a literal sip. And the headache started to leave. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And so then I went and took another sip and it left, you know, and I was just amazed. This is also really good if you have like the flu or anything, you know, just try it. And again, like when you have the flus and things like that, you don't tend to have an appetite to be able to just like eat, you know, a full meal or anything like that. But with these ferments, you just drink the juice. You don't have to actually eat the food. I mean, the food is good, of course, too, but the juice is just as good, you know, or the brine, whatever you want to call it. So it's good to do that. So now, the ratio when you're doing like a quart, right? The ratio of salt is about 1 to 3 tablespoons, and I got a tablespoon thing now because I was like, I never use these. I just kind of eyeball it, but I'm gonna do this time, and I'm gonna do like a tablespoon and a half. I'm not gonna do I'm just gonna do a little bit more than that, and I'm gonna do that in both. I like this jar. I might have to go back and see if they have another one for me. But I'm a little bit nuts when it comes to these jars, and I don't really need it, so I probably shouldn't. So that might be, it's less than a tablespoon and a half, but whatever. So I would like to measure this part, I think, but I don't have it with me, so I'm not. So I'm gonna eyeball it too. So I want to use like maybe a 1/4 cup or so of this to serve as a I put a little bit more as a starter culture in both of these. The salt is gonna really help it to be very much very like crunchy and have that nice crunch to it, because without it, it could just be mushy, kind of gross. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna put some water on these now. Okay, so now I have put enough water on here to cover all of the vegetables in here and the garlic, you know, the carrots and the garlic. So now I'm just gonna close this joker up. And then I'm gonna put a label on here. Isn't it pretty? It's nice. And I actually will shake this up a bit off camera probably. Well, I mean, I'm doing it on now, but I'll shake it up just a bit to just make sure everything is all incorporated. I could have done that with the water and the salt ahead of time, but I wasn't exactly sure how much water I was gonna use this time around. So because these containers are different than what I'm accustomed to using. So, but this will be fine. So I'm just kind of not mashing it, but stirring it up a little bit, and this will get like cloudy and it'll start to bubble up. And gonna look at this. I see like a few carrot sticks sticking up, so I think I'm gonna pick them up out of here. Actually, I wish I had my smaller knife. And yeah, that way, my hands are clean, by the way. I promise. I promise. I'll cut a little bit. Not cutting this the best way. But this how my father-in-law, he would cut it like this. So I just want to make sure everybody is under the sea. So hold on. Because we don't want to encourage any mold at all. I've never had a moldy ferment happen, and I'm not starting now. So, doing this way. I'm looking around. I'm very meticulous with stuff. I'm very anal about it. I'm going to cut that one. I'm going to cut 2 more. All right, now everybody is definitely underwater. So I will cover that up. And then over here with my jicama, everybody is definitely underwater, so I'm not concerned about this at all. But I don't have my top for this, so I'll get the top. But and then I'll give this a little shimmy shake and cover it. And so these will both sit for for a few days. I'm gonna watch them. Well, actually, I might even just give them to my friend, and I'll give her instructions on watching them. The carrots will be about 3 days or so. This might be maybe 5. It depends on the temperature of the house. And what you do is you get it to where you want it. So if you taste it and it has a little bit of a sourness to it that you're like, oh, I'm digging this, then stop it, put it in the fridge, and be done with it. Otherwise you can leave it on the counter longer, leave it in the cupboard. You don't want to have it out like in the sun and all. You want it to like be away in a darkened but airy cabinet or cupboard. And it's good when doing ferments like fruits and vegetables. I will ferment side by side, but I keep them at least 5 to 6 feet or 4 to 6 feet away from other ferments. Like my kefir is alone. My sourdough ferments alone. My water kefir ferments alone, as does my kombucha. In my kitchen, I have on one side of one particular wall, I have my water kefir all the way on this end, and all the way on the other end, I have my kombucha. And because they will cross ferment sometimes, like I've heard of people having a SCOBY like from kombucha in their water kefir, and it doesn't hurt, but you don't want that, them intermingling like that, because the bacteria is just everywhere. It's all in the air, it's all around. And the cool thing about it is that your ferment is going to have your bacteria. And like, even though this is going to start out, I don't know how long this will be here with me, but it'll start out with my bacteria and yeasts that are like good and all. And my friend will get this, and then it'll turn to hers and her families, and very quickly too. Like I've read recently studies where like I think it was within like half an hour to an hour or something like that, something like short like that, that the bacteria changed to be that of the household that they were in. And I'm like, that is so cool. It's really cool how all this works. So you're getting what you need. It's very tailor-made, so I am going to just close these jokers up and let them go. So it's just as simple as that. There's not much else to do here besides cover them up and let them go. You check them and burp them to let out the gases, because you don't want any explosions. I've never had an explosion happen. What else? It depends on the temperature in your house. If your house is, say, below 70 or below like 68 or something, then you'll need to ferment things longer. And that's just in general, like anything. But if it's above, then your ferments will happen faster. So Just depends, but you always leave it in a nice darkened, aerated kind of place. And then you don't mix, different ferments, and because you don't want that cross bacterial contamination type of thing. And I say contamination loosely because it's not like contaminated, like it's bad, but you just want, that's when segregation is good. So, that's it. This is your fermented carrot sticks, which taste very much like pickles. I wish I had some dill to put in there. I don't. Maybe I'll tell my friend if she gets some dill, she can get some dill, she can stick it in there and it'll work just fine. And then the jicama, and this is good. The lady that I got the recipe from, Donna Schwenk, she's like, jicama if you're sickama. So, and it works. It really works. Just like a sip, can help with any ailments, joint pain, all kinds of stuff. So, alrighty. So thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.